Right, everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and try to call to order the November 17, 2016 Coffee County Board of Education regular meeting. Start off with.
We already did that.
We'll start off, we'll have the pledge with NJROTC Cadets Commander Kelly Martinez and Lieutenant Commander Deanna Ortiz. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left.
Detail. Up. Right. Face. Present. Arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Arms. Right. Face. Forward. March. Left. 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 Right. Left. 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 Right. Left.
All right, and we have Reverend Rick Heavy from Western North Street Church of God here tonight for your education.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to be here tonight, and thank you so much for starting this meeting with an invocation. Psalm 92 says it's a good thing to give thanks to the Lord, and this time of year we've got our minds on Thanksgiving, and it should be something we do year round. But it is a good thing to give thanks to the Lord, and I am so thankful for what we have here in Coffee County. There was a pastor that went down to the island of Tobago to a leper colony, and he was in a church meeting that they had, and a little lady that was a leper raised her hand, and it was a hand that the digits had all fallen off of because of her leprosy. And she said, "Can I request a song?" And the song was, "Count your many blessings, name them one by one." And so sometimes we say people need an attitude adjustment, but what we need is a gratitude adjustment. So we are grateful, and let's pray and thank the Lord tonight. Father, I thank you so much, Lord, for being able to live in this beautiful city, in this great county. Lord, I thank you for these board members that in a selfless way serve our community and serve our children. Lord, we thank you for all of the administrators. Lord, we appreciate the job that they do. Thank you, Lord. I'm so thankful for our teachers. And I'm thankful for our parents. And dear God, all of the support staff, Lord, from lunchroom workers to bus drivers to those that are custodians. Lord, they all contribute. And Lord, I thank you for our children, with their bright minds, their bright eyes, their bright ideas, and their bright futures. And I'm praying your continued blessing upon Coffee County and upon our schools. We believe you for it, and we thank you for it. In the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, sir. That's the agendas in front of you.
Mr. Chairman, I would point out, if you will, that I moved from the last monthly meeting and added it to the consent agenda for this monthly meeting. Item B under consent agenda, it's not on the paper copy that was distributed earlier prior to the meeting. It was data center relocation. So I would ask you to amend the printed agenda to add B after minutes, data center relocation, and you can move everything else down.
Got a motion to adopt the agenda to add B, data center agenda, and move B through E down.
So moved.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the purpose and direction of our school system, our mission, destination, graduation for college, career, and life, and our vision, which is an equitable and excellent education for all of our students. And I will say that I've had the chance over the past week and a half to get into classrooms at East Side and West Side and Coffee Middle School. And several weeks ago, I was out at Nichols Elementary School, and even had a chance to get into our alternative school a few weeks ago. And just some fantastic work is going on with our teachers and our students and our young people. And just so excited about the work that I've seen personally going on in our classrooms with our children. So I'd just like to thank our teachers and all of our staff who make it happen, our nutrition staff, our bus drivers, all of our staff, our custodians, secretaries, parapros, teachers, everybody that's involved, principals, assistant principals. We're doing a great job, and we just want to celebrate that here tonight. This is National Education Appreciation Week, so we're real excited about what we've got going on in our school system in reaching for our mission of destination graduation from college career life. So just wanted to mention that, board members. Next item on the agenda is governance and leadership. We've got special recognition tonight, and Miss Kim Clayton is going to present our special recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Lewis. Tonight, we are happy to recognize one of the hardest group of employees in our school system, and that is our school nutrition department. They have recently been recognized with the Golden Radish Award. I know that will pique your interest if you don't know what that is. So I'm going to call upon our school nutrition director, Ms. Donna Henley, and her staff, and she's going to tell you all about this wonderful award they just received in Atlanta. Ms. Henley?
Thank you. It was an honor to go up to Atlanta on October 24th with Sue and Debbie. They treated us to a wonderful lunch. We were among 53 counties that were recognized in the state of Georgia. And some of the criteria, there's certain levels that you have to achieve in order to receive the Golden Radish Award. We serve locally and Georgia-grown produce and food items in all of the schools. Last year, every single day, we menued or served, every single day, 2015-16, either a Georgia-grown item or a locally grown food item. We also served those food items in summer feeding. We also served them on the new salad bar at the high school. We featured cucumbers, green peppers, spinach, and cherry tomatoes. Those are all locally grown items. The locally grown could be, our definition is Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. So of course, oranges you would think from Florida. Well, there's a lot of apples that are grown in Georgia, spinach. So there's a lot grown in Georgia, and it could also be food byproducts or additives, say like barbecue sauce or herbs and spices. So any of those food items count as part of the criteria. We also process blueberries that are grown in Alma into blueberry juice, which we serve almost daily. And the schools conduct taste tests. Several of the schools conduct taste tests throughout the school year. So that was the criteria, the certain level that we received this year. Now, yet next year we're going to go for a higher level, but that's what we did this year. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of the schools for the wonderful Thanksgiving meal that was served today, and I know that you guys had part of it. And we all helped in the kitchens. We helped serve, but the retirees look forward to that, the teachers, the staff, the principals, as well as the retired cafeteria staff, and they come and help. They come and volunteer their time to help serve at the schools. And that's it. So. And thank you for supporting us.
Question.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
You know I won't let you go. I've been waiting on you.
Okay.
Tell us.
What?
Is the menu gonna change?
No.
Miss Trump. Yeah.
Okay.
When Miss Trump take over.
I knew, Dr. Lee's already mentioned that.
He said it's gonna be different.
Not that we know of.
You got no insight.
What?
You don't have the insight.
No, I You guys will be the first to know, trust me. But if you did it now, we would lose federal funds, so we're not
I'm
doing
just
it
saying,
now.
what you think? You think it's gonna change?
Probably not. Probably not, only because they worked too hard and there's so many, Mr. Preston knows, the food manufacturers and distributors, the way that they've had to reformulate all of their food, probably not. Not in the near
Got some
future.
whole grain cornbread, that's some.
I know, it was good now. Let me tell you. Let me check this out.
In those rolls?
Dealing with a Trump, ain't no telling what you might get. Just tell me.
Yep.
You might get anything. They gonna change. I bet you a state down there change.
Well, it might, but it's not changing right now.
Now, January the 20th is a change. Watch.
I just like I like the plug for blueberries too. That was really nice that y'all are serving blueberry juice and we're supporting our local
We are.
blueberry growers, so.
I was at school when they did, a couple years ago, now they got a new taste test for blueberry juice and the kids love it.
Use more, eat more blueberries.
They do, and you know, and while I'm up here, I wasn't going to because I was gonna surprise you next month with the short PowerPoint, but I may as well tell you now. That I've already started on what we're going to do for next year to when I apply for this award, and we started a school garden at Satilla this year. And they just harvested the crop this past Monday, and they just served it yesterday. They made little green smoothies, and they made spinach salad, and the kids loved it. Sheila just told me that the kids love the smoothies. We are also partnering with the freshman campus, and our ag teacher, Mr. Troy Highsmith, and the principal. And he's already planted his crop for the fall, but come the spring, we're gonna get together and we're gonna see what we can serve in the cafeteria. So there you go.
I mentioned to Ms. Finley the other day, I know we can do it at 18 acres in Broxton.
Yeah.
Because Tiff County won their award, they've actually got a farm. They've actually got row crops.
Yeah, but I asked Mr. Preston who was gonna go out there and farm it because,
Young
Yeah.
farmers, we got a lot of
We do.
No, we need maybe we get that.
But they have a nice setup out there at the freshman campus because I went out there. They also have a greenhouse, I think, that's going to be refurbished. But even his outside was nice. So anyway, that's what's going on in school nutrition.
All you gotta do is add this in, we get you some good stuff.
Okay. Oh, thank
Just
you.
don't get it.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, thank you.
At this time, I want to present a grant that our Assistant Superintendent of Operations, Dr. James Banks, and our Transportation Director, Mr. Buddy Gilliard, they pursued a grant opportunity through the Georgia School Board Association, and they made application for the grant, and we were awarded last month a $5,000 grant to go towards the Transportation Department. And I want to thank Dr. Banks and Mr. Gilliard for pursuing this grant, and if you want to come forward and you can describe to the board what your plans are with this grant. Great job. Thank you. Yes, sir. Great job. Thank you.
What I would say briefly, when we discussed ideas to come up with a proposal for the safety grant, we went into collaboration with Mr. Drahush and Buddy. We talked about different things, but one of the things that became alarming to our mindset was at the conclusion of last school year, about the last 3 weeks of the school year, we had multiple bus accidents that occurred within our school system. And we wanted to come up with a plan to, well, how can we deter, make a preventive or proactive approach to keep these things from happening? Or if they do happen, what kind of evidence do we have that will validate that we can look at some strategies to keep it from happening over and over again? So when the application came about with Georgia School Board Association, one of the responses that was made, it said, describe how your application may help reduce losses or exposure for the school district. And the response was, the primary reason for this application is being promulgated at this time is due to our proactive effort to reduce and or eliminate the potential of having bus accidents in our school system. Anytime we have one accident, it is one too many. Our goal is to increase safety and to have equipment on our buses that will have deterring effects to counter illegal activity when students may be most vulnerable. Hence, our goal is to keep passengers and staff safe when riding our buses and holding violators accountable with reliable camera and security measures throughout every school year. Moreover, a plan to activate and increase safety measures is of paramount importance, and this should reduce a lack of protection from violators who do not stop when there is a clear need to do so. The need for a student protector includes a unique mechanical design combined with the precision engineered sensor technology, allowing it to optimize license plate recognition day or night. This is a tool that could prove very worthy to the needs of bus driving safety in our school system. So with the stop arm deterrent system, I believe that this will be a great tool that will give us evidence when things happen in our system that we can have validation to say this is what may or may not have happened. And what actually, if something did happen like that, it would give the bus drivers knowledge of what they could have done differently, or maybe the passengers or the drivers on the other side can say, maybe I should have done something different. So at this time, I'm going to ask Buddy Gillett to just talk a little bit about the dash cam that we may implement on buses to actually deter bad things from happening within our school system, to necessarily keep all students safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One thing we talked about was putting a dash cam on the bus. Now, it will not stop an accident. But when we do have an accident, or if we do, we can see actually what the driver is seeing, and we can learn from that accident. We have to get better cameras on the inside. We need safety on the inside as well as the outside. So we upgrade our camera system on the inside, put GPS tracking, do the GPS tracking device and all that. So this money be well spent for cameras.
And I would like to say hats off to all of our bus drivers. They do a wonderful job getting students to school and back home safely every afternoon. So I compliment them for the job that they have done in the past and what they're currently doing right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on our agenda is the Boys and Girls Club is here to report their annual report that has to be given for the 21st Century Grant and the Boys and Girls Club. So welcome. You want to introduce yourselves and take the floor.
Absolutely. It's always an honor and a privilege to be here today. I'm Judy Artis. I'm the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club. We have Kawana Moffitt, who is a teacher at Indian Creek, but also our lead teacher, academic teacher at the Boys and Girls Club for the 21st Century Program, and our site coordinator, Mr. Michael Bull Brown. And we're going to share some data. We're really, really excited about entering year 3 of the 5-year grant through the Department of Education. We were off to a rough start year 1, but we have turned it around in such a way that we're really, really proud of. And once we share the data today, you're going to be really proud of the turnaround and the difference that the partnership is really making to the school system and the out of school time. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Brown to share the data.
All right. Once again, Dr. Lee's board, thank you for allowing us to come. We're here to talk about the 21st Century Program and the partnership between the school system and the Boys and Girls Club. This cannot be done, the 21st Century Program cannot be done without teamwork. As you can see on my slideshow, we have the schools, which is the Board of Education, the Boys and Girls Club, and we have homes, which is families. With all that teamwork put together, which is an awesome teamwork, we also have certain staff that we have employed at the Boys and Girls Club. Of course, my administration team is Ms. Judy, CEO, course, me, the site director, family service coordinators, Ms. CC, which also works at Westside. Lead teacher is Ms. Kwana. Our data clerk is Ms. Erica. As you can see on the slideshow, the teachers come from various schools, from middle to elementary to high school teachers. We also have paraprofessionals that work with the kids, and we have about 15 South Georgia State College students that volunteers that come in that we have every day there at the club that come in and help us out so we can break it down to our ratios. 21st Century has 3 main goals. Our first goal is to increase learning in reading, math, and science. That's the 3 areas that we focus on. Our next goal is to improve student attendance, behavior, and active participation in class. Our third main goal is to provide opportunities for the families to improve literacy, language, and parenting skills. Now I want to go into some of the highlights of last year, 2015-16 year. 82% of our students actively participating in the program improved in class participation. These are surveys that we give out to the daytime schools, and 82% of our students were actively engaged in participation. 97% of our parents say they love the program, that we're doing good, we're doing exactly what they want us to do. 87% of the parents report improvement in homework completion. 96% of our students were promoted to a next grade.
And could I ask you, how many students are we talking about here? What's the number of students that were served?
We serve around, right now we have 143.
All right, great.
143, and that's going to be in a couple more slides.
All right, great. So 96% of 143 students were promoted to the next grade level.
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir. And we're not saying that the Boys and Girls Club and the 21st Century did all this, because this is a partnership between the school system and us. And I think these numbers are just awesome. 95% of the students participating in the program were absent from school 10 days or less. One of the things, if they didn't go to school, they can't come to the club. So that helped out a lot in the attendance. 71% of the students participating in the program demonstrated improvement in their daytime schools. Once again, we surveyed the teachers, and 71% of these kids improved in their behavior. That was 15-16 year. We started off with an awesome beginning of the 16-17 year, and we have some numbers for our first 9 weeks. This is representing 31 of our middle school kids. Right now we have 31 kids. If you, out of those 31 kids, 79% average in math. We added up all our middle school math grades, and 79% an average. Science, an 83 average. Reading was 81 average. All of this is through the partnership with the Board of Education, the 21st Century, and the Boys and Girls Club. Elementary, and if I can, I'd like to make a remark. We serve Indian Creek, Westside, Eastside, and Satilla. If you look at those numbers, math, an average, and that is with 112 kids, an average of 85 in math, an average of 85 in science, and an average of 84 in reading. These numbers speak volume to the dedication that my staff and the staff at the Board of Education in these schools are really pointing, grabbing these kids' attention and really pushing them to help with their homework, their academics.
I'm going to interject just for a second. Those numbers are fabulous, but I want to bring a little bit more spotlight to those numbers. these kids were specifically chosen based on a rubric of different scores and levels, and they were the students that were scoring on the bottom tier in terms of the different matrix that was used at that time to determine the eligibility of the students. So when we say these are the kids that were failing or retained or reading below grade level, to see them averaging an 85 as a report card grade, I just think that's fantastic. And I think that deserves a round of applause.
All right. Those are our grades for our first 9 weeks. Of course, they're Bs, and we're striving, we're pushing our staff to go out there and break them down further, ratios, and really nail down. I want to see 90s in these. I want to see A's in our kids, and I believe honestly that our kids can do it with a little bit of push with us to really get them to hunker down and really study. And I can't say enough about my staff, how they work with these kids. They love our kids, and I think a lot of this shows on some of these grades. Not only are we here for the academics, but some of the programs, I don't know if you guys knew, we have a gardening program. One of the pictures is the kids are out there doing gardening. We grow our own vegetables. We give out as a community the vegetables that we get. Some of the kids take it home, and then also we make little care packages and take them around the community and give it out to the neighbors. We do STEAM projects. We do, as you can see, they're dissecting. One of my teachers, Mr. Bagley, brought in owl pellets, and the kids are dissecting the owl pellets. Loved it. They got to see all the things that were all in the owl pellets, but they loved it. Other programs, there's triple play. We get to go swimming. We get exercise, sports. We have football, basketball. Last year we traveled to Brunswick and played Brunswick's boys and girls team, and Brunswick traveled to us, and we played them here at the middle school. We have cheerleading. We have a golf program. We have, not only that, we have leadership and community service. These are some pictures of awards every year. We have an annual award banquet. We pick the kids with the highest GPA, give them an award. We have Youth of the Year awards. We do community service, special events. We, if you can see, that's lots of reptiles. They bring stuff to us, snakes, reptiles, horses. Even Santa comes and visits at the Boys and Girls Club. The kids get to experience plays. We partnership with South Georgia State College. That was the play at South Georgia College. Community we do with the families. Today we just had our harvest dinner. Families are invited to eat and share and just have a good time. I want to close with this. Not only were you academics, but we're there for the kids. Last year, we had a kid come into the club, wasn't acting right. One of my parapros noticed it. He went up and grabbed him and said, "What's wrong?" The kid started squabbling. He said, "Uh-oh, let's go see Mr. Bull." So they brought him to my office, and we went to talking to him. And this kid had issues. He was thinking bad thoughts, suicide thoughts. So of course we loved on him, through the connection that we have with the school board, you guys. I got on the phone, got a counselor over there that night, called the parents in. I had the parents and the counselor all in my office, letting them talk. After an hour or so with the counselor and the social worker working with them, they came out and the kid was smiling. We let the kid go home. The social worker or the counselor came to me and said, "Bull, you don't know. Y'all just saved this kid's life." He said the last thing that he said, "I'm grateful for Mr. Mark and Mr. Bull because we're there. If that kid would have went home, who knows what would have happened. But we were there in place to save that kid's life." So Thank you for allowing us to come. As you can see, every day we're changing lives. Together, we can change Coffee County's future. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to comment that I appreciate the work y'all are doing, and I've had a chance to visit there too within the last week, and the work you're doing is phenomenal. To see over 130, 140 students who will benefit from your program, and you have some excellent teachers. You are right. The teachers that we have down there, I'm so impressed with, and the paraprofessionals that are working down there. Y'all are really doing some good work for the children here in Coffee County. I do want to put a plug in for the program itself, the Boys and Girls Club, the fact that the Boys and Girls Club is growing, and that we are working as a school system along with the Boys and Girls Club to help you grow your program. And we recognize that it takes this partnership with the school system, but also the private partnership with individuals, business, community partners, and other entities in our community to help grow the Boys and Girls Club. The Boys and Girls Club operates in a large part off of private donations. And the only way we can have a Boys and Girls Club in Coffee County to do this kind of work in Coffee County is if we have contributions from individuals and contributions from businesses and other partners in our community. So I would ask anyone who's watching this meeting in attendance, or if you're watching from home, to please consider making a contribution to our Boys and Girls Club so that we can continue this kind of programming in Coffee County. Because without those individual contributions from individuals and companies in our county, this work will not be able to continue. It's vital that we have contributions to the Boys and Girls Club here in Coffee County. And I just wanted to put a plug in because the work you're doing is fantastic, and you are expanding. You've opened your teen center, and if you want to, Judy, if you want to mention the teen center and what you're doing there, I think this would be very appropriate.
Absolutely. So the 21st Century Grant was awarded to Coffee County School District back in 2014. As I mentioned, we are entering year 3 of that grant. The grant initially was to serve students in grade 3 through 7. Well, our 7th graders, we're here 7th graders, and they stayed with us. We expanded the grant to serve them as 8th graders, but those kids are 9th graders now. And they did so well, and we saw such an impact. We saw grades increase. We saw behavior improve. So how could we just send them to the 9th grade and not continue that support? Because statistics show us that between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m., that's when juvenile crime is at the highest, especially for that 13, 14, 15 age group. So thank goodness for our board to have the fortitude to say, we need to keep these kids, we need to keep our arms wrapped around these kids and have a place for them to go. But not only have a place for them to go, because we're not talking about socialization. We need to make sure we have quality programs that's delivered by professional staff so that these kids can graduate from high school with a plan to enter college, a plan to enter the military, or a plan to enter the workforce. And they need those soft skills. They need support. We know that the high school counselors do a tremendous job of trying to reach as many kids as they can. But our program want to complement that. There may be a few that fall through the cracks for whatever reason, and hopefully we can be that catch net to be able to grab those kids and help them follow through with that plan. Your mission is just paramount. It's that graduation, destination graduation. I just think that that is paramount. That's what we want for every child. That's how we become stronger as a community, by pouring into the next generation. We can't forget about those kids, especially in that 9th and 10th grade year where we start to see the dropout rate increase. Somebody somewhere have to just grab those kids and like Bull said, show them there's a place for them. There's people that care about them. The young man that Bull just talked about is a 9th grader now at the freshman campus. My God, what would have happened to him if he didn't come in 8th grade, if we would let that kid go? He's in 9th grade, he's doing well. He's actually one of the leaders at the clubs, and he's working on his English language, second language skills, and his parents are involved. And I think that's the key. We're able to reach parents that maybe don't see in the school day for whatever reason, because we're probably not as forceful as threatening, but we want to be a conduit for the school system for maybe alternative parent meetings for the parents that didn't come to open house, that we can spearhead attendance, get the attendance rate up even higher. We want to make sure that these kids have every opportunity for success. And it doesn't stop at 3rd grade, 4th grade, and it doesn't stop until they graduate on time with a plan for Acton High School. Thank y'all so much.
Question,
Yes, sir.
anything we can do as a board to help you, let us know.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Dr. Lease laid it out plain and clear. We opened the teen center because of those kids, and we opened it with a hope and a prayer. I'm going to be very honest with you, and it takes community support. We haven't really gotten out there yet to rally support, but this is paramount that we do this. And I don't want to tell a story that these poor kids or a certain demographic, these are all our kids. And if we don't invest and plant a seed in them now, we will pay through the prison system, through the police system later on. So I think that the whatever donations and contributions we can take, and as you know, our board are very good stewards of the dollars that come in, we will make sure that every child is exposed and have the opportunity for success, however they may define it in their home. A better example is this past summer, our teams got to visit 7 universities. They went to Armstrong University, they went to University of Georgia, they went to Valdosta State, of course they went to South Georgia State, Wiregrass, they went to Mercer University. These are kids that would never have probably left this town, and got to stay on campus and spend the night at the university and learn what that experience is. That takes dollars. And we need to do more of that. We need to introduce them to college life earlier, not in their senior year, but in 8th grade and 9th grade year. So financial support is what it really going to take to keep us going.
Dr. Lees, is there any money out there available, because they deal with 9th graders and 10th graders, that they can take their ACT and the SAT under their leadership and help them out?
We
A lot of kids don't know how to do that.
I can talk to Ms. Judy and see if there's a way that maybe we can have some sort of SAT or ACT prep involvement with the program there at the Teen Center. That's a great idea. So
Is there-
work on that.
Yes, sir.
Is there any money out there, you think?
We'll look at it and see.
Okay, if you can help them, please do.
Well, thank you. And we also have met with Dr. Ingrid Sellers, the new president at South Georgia State, and they're also bought into this, and they're going to help support an SAT prep, ACT prep programs as well. So that's what it takes. It takes the community.
We're going to help you.
Thank you so much.
If you don't ask, then you'll get no help.
Yeah, we don't ask. Thank you all. I know you got a long meeting. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr.
Next on our agenda is our consent agenda. These items have been reviewed by the board at the work sessions immediately prior to this meeting. And also, we do have an item or two that was reviewed at the October board meeting and placed on the consent agenda for this meeting. It is the recommendation of the superintendent that the board approve the consent agenda as presented. I will go through each item and discuss the items on the consent agenda. We have the minutes from the September and the October Board of Education meeting. The board members have had a chance to review those minutes, and they're ready to be approved by the board on the consent agenda. We also have the data center relocation. This was a bid by the technology department to move the servers for the school system into the Board of Education office. The second low bid on that was the company A3 Communications out of Milledgeville, and this was a request for proposals, an RFP. So our technology department selected the vendor that they felt like achieved the requirements of the request for proposal to their satisfaction, and also had the second most competitive price. So the work has been done, and I notified the board last month that this group would be selected to do the work, and at this point we're very satisfied, but I did put this on the consent agenda just to have board confirmation that there was approval with moving forward with Bay 3 doing this work. Monthly financial report. We have the monthly financial report from July through September 30. You'll see the end of month fund equity was $4,696,743.83. We also have the monthly financial report ending October 31, 16, with an end of month fund equity of $4,432,838.08. We're very pleased with the financial health of the district right now. Tax revenue is coming in as expected, and the school system is in good fiscal health right now. End of state out of state travel, we have trips from the October meeting that are included on this agenda. And then we also have the November out-of-state travel. We have groups going to Jacksonville, Florida, to the Museum of Science and History, as well as the Jacksonville Zoo. A group going to Fort Clinch. A group going to Auburn University. We have an easement at Coffee Middle School. Georgia Power submitted a request for an easement to supply power to the new ag building. Mr. Cottingham has reviewed the contract. Mr. Dravish has reviewed the contract. So our legal counsel and our finance department has looked at the contract. I've had a chance to speak with a representative from Georgia Power. And the reason that Georgia Power is doing this work is they supply the power for all of the athletic complex facilities out at the middle school, and they're including this new facility out there as part of that grouping of buildings. And so Georgia Power will supply the electricity to this new ag building, and this easement gives them access, gets power lines in there. And just as information, that easement will be through a wooded area and will not interfere with any of our activities out there on that campus. And then we have policy GAE, complaints and grievances. These changes to this policy were subject to changes in state law, so we had to change our grievance and complaint policy to be in compliance with the changes in the state law. This policy has been reviewed by our legal counsel and also by GSBA. They've provided feedback on it, and we're comfortable asking the board to approve it tonight. And that is the consent agenda.
So moved.
You got a motion to approve the consent agenda, second. Discussion. Favor?
Thank you. We have no need for an executive session. You've been presented with the personnel. I would ask the board to approve the personnel list from October and November as presented.
So moved.
Motion, do we have a second? Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Thank you. And at this time, we have board member comments.
Mr. Chairman?
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, sir. Not the least, I'd like to see ROTC implemented in middle school. I think that's a great program. If you look into it, the more kids we can get involved in it, better it be.
Yes, sir, we'll look into that.
And it take a team effort to get things accomplished. And I think this board will implement that. We have our disagreement, but at the end, we reason with each other. And that's the way it's supposed to be. It ain't no I, it's a team effort. As long as we keep that attitude, and then we can accomplish. Work with everybody, and everybody work with us. And I want to thank everybody for praying for my family and my wife. She doing great. I know there's a God in heaven. She doing excellent. And I don't know about 30 pounds eating what she eat. I never ate like that before. But I know God is real. And go Trojans.
I'd just like to wish everyone a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I know we've got early release tomorrow. Those of y'all traveling to either the game or to see families, please travel safe. I'd like to say thank you to everyone it's our education week, I guess, at least on the calendar anyway, but it's education week every day once school starts. So just want to say how thankful I am for that. And thank you, board and superintendent and finance department for helping us get everybody paid before the holidays.
Happy holidays too. Don't eat too much. I'm still eating myself.
I'll say real quick as a, not just as a board member, but as a community member, as a parent, I've been especially impressed with our community and our school system over the last month. Went to watch the ROTC inspection and kind of feedback on what Mr. Johnson said. That was a phenomenal program. These kids do a great job. I don't know if you've ever actually been able to go out and watch some of the things they do, their presentations and their drills. Great program, it's making kids really doing good things with them. Went to the Veterans Day program and they again performed along with our choir and the community support there was phenomenal. We had a lot of people that came out to that program that got to watch these kids do their thing. I was impressed with that. You know, today we've got Thanksgiving dinners at all the schools, you know, most of the schools, and I mean, I went to two of them myself and you couldn't find a place to park. I tell you, this is the first time I've had a parallel park since probably I was 16. But just the community support coming out, even with the kids, the grandkids, the, you know, nephew, whatever, it just shows you that our community is behind our kids, behind our schools. You know, we traveled last Friday night up to Atlanta to a football game. We actually had more fans than the home team did. That's a lot of community support. That's a lot of getting out there and supporting these kids. And it just makes you proud to see that not only are our kids working hard, but our community is as well. And then I've just been real proud of our community and our children over the last little while. I just want to say that.
Well, I appreciate it. And thank you to our board members. I know you put in a lot of time and a lot of unthanked effort from a lot of folks that may not understand the commitment that you do make to be on the board. So thank you, board members. And I do want to announce, before we're through with the board members, thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. I know it's challenging sometimes, but we do want to kick off with our schools and our parents, especially the idea of the Zero Tardy campaign. In school, on time, every single day. In school, on time, every single day. I'll repeat it. It's something that we really need to work on with our parents, with our community. We met with our business leaders a couple of months ago, and one of the local human resource directors for one of our largest employers pointed out that that's an issue that we need to help our business partners with, that they need employees that show up on time, every day, ready to work. And we need students who show up on time, every day, ready to work. So I want to challenge all of our parents out there, all of our community members, that let's get together and let's work together, just like we're talking about, everybody working together. Let's work together to get everybody to school on time, every day. ready to work. And let's really make that an effort for our whole school system to help our children learn that, because it is important. When they go to work one day after graduation, they're going to need to show up to work on time. They're going to need to be where they're supposed to be. So that's something we're going to continue to talk about as a school system moving forward, is really putting a focus on that with all of our students. The board will be attending the 2016 GSBA GSSA Annual Conference at the Renaissance Waverly Hotel in Atlanta, November 30th through December 3rd. I just wanted to announce that to the public, that the board will be convening at the annual GSBA conference, November 30th through December 3rd. Also, the American Education Week is this week. This is American Education Week, and this is an opportunity to tell our teachers how much they mean to all of us as parents. I'm a parent, and I just want to say thank you to all of our teachers, all of our educators, everyone involved with the school business who does great things with our young people every single day. And the theme for this year's 2016 American Education Week is Great Public Schools, a Basic Right and Our Responsibility. So I think that's a very fitting theme for American Education Week. A basic right, great public schools, and it's our responsibility. So thank you, teachers and educators. And that's all I have.
I'm sorry, I got a couple more things.
Justin.
I'd like to thank everybody for voting no on the OSD. Now, Dr. Lee, do you have an update on starting school later and earlier, like closer to Labor Day or what?
We have been working on some calendars. I met with our superintendent's teacher advisory council last week. We have a group of teachers that we meet with, that I meet with, and we talk with those teachers and get feedback from them. So we met with them last week and got some feedback from them. We've instructed our principals that they are to be meeting with their school governing councils, and they've been doing that over the past month or two, and they're going to get feedback into us by the end of this month. And so we're in the process of gathering information from all our stakeholders, our teachers, and our school governing councils at each site. And we do have several possible proposals. The one that seems the most possible is looking at a start time in mid-August to try to get it back after Labor Day. Is going to be, I'll just be very honest, it's going to be very difficult to do that. But if we could push the start date back a couple of weeks, that seems to be where most of the groups that we talked with seem to feel we could land as far as starting earlier. So maybe pushing the start date back 2 weeks would be better for us, and we'll continue to work on that, and we'll have some time to talk about it as a board and see what we can get. But
Just give us the pros and the cons.
yes, sir. I mean, we're waiting to get that feedback back from our principals, and we'll have something for the board next month.
I kind of forgot it, but
Yes, sir.
back to my remembrance.
Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn? Second, adjourn.